Thursday night, you know what that means? West Virginia Call-In Show presented by, who they presented by, Eric? FanDuel, right?
Absolutely.
So this is the voice of college football. And as you know, we talk about college football, but once in a while, we talk about pepperoni rolls, natty light, tailgating. What other things we talk about? Maybe a little bit of college basketball sprinkled in there. Not supposed to, but we throw maybe 2 minutes in there. Eric, breaking news. Yeah, thanks, phone. The phone will tell me all kinds of stuff that I already know. Now, talking about stuff you already know, Eric, we were talking today. We don't talk often, maybe a couple times a week. So we, on this show, we kind of try to fill a swim lane. Bear with me, Chet. You have on one end, you have on three, who has accurate information, but it might be, what would you say, Eric? 30, 40, 8 hours, 38, 48 hours, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, something like that.
There's a lag.
Okay. And our move's called flash to bang. So the flash would be Mountaineer Paul, because he's like, I talked to a player and he told me this, and I talked to this guy, and he is on it. He's checking it, like daily videos. We don't do that. We try to fill the middle. So you have Mountaineer Paul and you have on three, and then we kind of fill the void. What we try to do here in the channel is take a little bit of the information and try to digest it, because I don't know about you, Eric, but there's so much information going on. So many kids might visit. So many kids are in the portal that might be interested. Can't do a show on mites, but this might be the show to do a show on mites, right?
You can't not do a show on without including mites. I'm sure double negatives got me in there somewhere. But little defense in defense of on three, they're trying to run a transfer portal tracker, and I don't even know how you would even begin to tackle that job. So yeah, there's probably a little bit of lag, but it doesn't mean that they're that way with all their news. It just means it's and that's what we're saying. It's nearly impossible to keep up with all this transfer stuff, but everybody's doing their best. It's funny because I heard a lot of the other folks struggling, not just today, because today was a big day, all sorts of stuff happening today, but even the last few days.
Yeah. So I think you had a magic number of how many folks we're going to go through tonight, but it might not be as in depth as last week or not Monday. And we'll probably get more in depth after everything comes out in the wash. But we're going to go through a list of the names that have hit that have hit West Virginia, and talk a little bit about them. Maybe they've just pop off and they're exciting, and talk about popping off and exciting. Leo, I'll just start off with it. Okay, I was waiting for a few more people to come into the chat to get our numbers back up, because I want everybody to catch this. West Virginia, like Leo said, they got a Wyoming transfer, Wes King, and he is a king, man. 6'5", 315. I think that would that be a 3X or a 4X, Eric?
That's a lot of X's, whatever it is. And I can't wait to see what he's going to be like when he fills out. I mean, he's still grown. He's just a pup.
When he hits his second puberty in the weight room, he's going to be a monster, which I think he hit at age 15, guys. I don't think there is much this kid. Well, let's just say this. The rumor is he hasn't allowed a sack in 3 years. Is that what the rumor is?
Or that's what I heard. Yeah, I think it's fact.
Fact. Check that out. So I really am just blown away by this kid. In 1,750 snaps, that doesn't even seem possible. This kid has not let someone smoke him and go past. Guys, he is a get.
That's crazy.
Now, sprinkle in. What are we going to sprinkle in? A little bit of Coach Trickett. Man, this guy is like the Hulk and Hulkbuster armor, right?
Absolutely. You mentioned Coach Trickett. We added Coach Trickett, and what happened not long thereafter? We get a bunch of great linemen coming in. I don't think that's a coincidence.
Oh, no, he's like the Pied Piper with his offensive line flute just out there. Hey, boys and girls, guess what we have? We got some big old knuckle dragon, meat eating, club dragon, uh, men that are about ready to just knock people over, make holes, and do some pass blocking. So let's see what the chat says here. Because guys, this is the call-in show. So if you feel a little spicy, go ahead. Hit us up in the message in the chat, and we'll try to bring you on for a few minutes. So Fiona Biscuit, no, wait a second. WVU fan 13 talking to Fiona Biscuit. First, we won't be 10-2 next season. Next season might be what 0.2, but maybe 6-6, 7-5. A 10-2 Big 12 champion will make the playoffs. That is a hot take. Now, Fiona, I passed what she said. Can a 10-2 WVU make college football playoffs? That is a fantastic question, Eric. Let's ponder that for a second. How would that work out? Well, how that would work out is a 10-2 West Virginia wins the Big 12 championship. But there has to be chaos. There has to be a lot of 6-6 teams in the mix that have beat each other up. So, like, for example, TCU might have beat up a 9-win team, and they got 3 losses. And there has to be a lot of chaos. And I think the wins for that 10-2 team have to come at the end of the season. You can't shit the bed twice at the end of the season and expect to make college football playoffs because of the rankings. Eric, what are your thoughts on that? Anything?
I think you nailed it. Just to kind of piggyback on what you said, in this new world of professional college football, we have seen that the field is leveling across the entire nation. So the idea that you're going to have as many undefeated teams, I don't know that that's going to be the case going forward. So the idea of 10-2, heck yeah, that's plausible. Especially like you said, at the Big 12, good Lord, there's always been parity. And the other thing too is that there's a lot of coaching changes. I think one of the future episodes, we ought to do a much too soon prediction for next season. Not yet.
Ooh, let me write that down. I got my pencil.
There you go. But there's a lot of changes going on in the Big 12. I think it's ripe for the taking.
Yeah, there is. Now, Texas Tech had spent quite a bit of money. They made it to the playoffs. Okay, they came short. Mm-hmm. They laid an egg, but they played a tough team. College football playoffs are on right now. And with that, let's talk about FanDuel's. I downloaded the app, Eric. I did. My co-host on my other show, my other YouTube wife. Eric's my YouTube wife, and then Bubba's my other YouTube wife.
So I'm your side guy. I got it.
So on FanDuel here, you go in, it's free to play. And what do you think the odds are of West Virginia next year, with this question in mind, winning the Big 12? If I put $10 down, how much money do you think I'd get? $10 on FanDuel. You put it down, how much do you think you'd win for West Virginia?
Well, I think for guys like you and I, that's a sucker bet. You're probably not going to win much because it's a guarantee we're going to win. But let's say the average person, I don't know, $800.
3,000. The odds are that good.
That's pretty impressive.
So, hey, for the pack of smokes, yeah, WVU fan, you'd lose $10. But you know what? You're going to lose $10 at getting your Wendy's double or whatever the hell you eat for lunch nowadays, kids. But guess what? Put $10 on FanDuel, let it ride, and you'll be happy twice. Because everybody's Mountaineer fan. Every Mountaineer fan wants to see us win a Big 12 championship. Well, shit. Well, how about a Big 12 championship, and you can buy yourself a hat, shirt, and a trip to, the day spa. But anyways, yeah, we talked a little bit about who said that in the chat? Oh, yeah. Dimes Roar. Wes King is a good addition. We just talked about that real quick. all 6'5". I don't know they stack that much girth at 6'5", 315 pounds. What a big dude. I mean, I can't believe I think he might be a 4XL, not a 3XL.
He might have his own zip code.
Yeah, yeah. So, let me get my magic list up here. But before we get to that, they're getting some running backs. So we'll go through that. Just hit my feed before the show here. Cam Cook is a guy that's 5'11", 200 pounds, has just basically told social media, guys, I'm coming to Morgantown and play some football for you.
That's a great get right there out of Jacksonville State. He might be familiar with an offense that we're running up here.
Maybe.
There might be some connections. Now, when I've seen him run, he's one of these guys who's quick. So he's fast, but he gets to his top speed in a hurry. So you're seeing him break through that first and second line of defense. Unfortunately, you do see him get caught, a significant number of times, but that's okay. He had a ton of carries and had a ton of yards. He's going to be a great back just to keep the chains moving and keep the offense humming. He's a great addition. Yep.
You can't go wrong with that. 1,600 yards. So we'll go through.
How many carries? Like 200?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, over 200 carries.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go through. And yesterday I pulled up the Rivals site. Today I pulled up another site. Country Roads used that. Country Roads Confidential used Frank Fear, our very own voice of college football West Virginia show. Frank Fear. He's on every Wednesday, guys. So check him out. He is an encyclopedia. He is the polar opposite of me and Eric. He knows, what shoe size, what color, each guy has on the, on the team from 1988 or from 1996, what was Wes Hours, inseam. He knows all kinds of great stuff, but we're going to go through position, player, former school, how many years they have remaining, and also maybe some miscellaneous, sprinkle in there some stats if I have it. Maybe I have it. Maybe I don't. First of all, we got Texas Permian Basin. What? Is that a vocational school? Defensive lineman Will LeBlanc. Wow.
He's a good ad.
Yeah, 32 tackles, 5 of them for losses, and a sack and a half. So we talked a little bit about him last week, but we're just going to hit through all these guys. There are lots of guys to go through, and this show's only an hour. Isaiah Peterson. Go ahead.
You want to real quickly? I know that's against competition like Mount St. Macrinas, but that's still really good. He's somebody who's scored pretty well. He could help us with the loss of Hammond Russell. 6'4", 290. He'll do a good job of clogging up that middle.
Yeah, he's a big guy just to kind of clog up things for you. Like, good luck running the ball when he's lined up there. Maybe does a little bit of a 4-point frog stance, or maybe just straight all 4 paws, all 4 2 hands down. But we got a linebacker. This kid looked really good. There's lots of articles out there in the interwebs on this cat. Isaiah Patterson, UNLV, 3 years remaining. Young guy, a lot of upside. 46 tackles last year. One or two of them were for losses. He had a sack. So there you go. Isaiah Patterson, UNLV. What are your thoughts on him, Eric?
He's a good ad. He's got great size, especially for linebacker. UNLV people should take note. UNLV's not a school you typically think of when it comes to football, but last season they had a great year, and even the season before that. So they're doing some good things there. So he'll be a good addition, especially with that size. One last thing to mention about Will. Will LeBlanc. He's got. I think he's got 3 years of eligibility left.
He does. He does. He has 3 years. So he has 3 years, and then you have this. I started with the guys with the most eligibility.
Okay.
And then I'm kind of just trickling down. So another guy with 4 years of eligibility is wide receiver Tayron Francis from LSU. So last year he redshirted. Uh, that is that's a lot of years. And this kid was they tried to, when he was recruited, what was it, a year ago? Teams like Alabama, Georgia, those were the teams that were interested in this kid. So this kid's no slouch.
Absolutely. You're looking at a kid who scored a 91.7. That's a really good score. So, because we talked about that and how it relates to the stars,
Right.
number of stars associated with you. Coming out of the SEC, like you said, he's got 4 years of eligibility. It would be great to bring him on, do some good things here, and if we can keep him, especially fast player. If you look him up, you'll see a lot of stuff related to track.
I'm going to go to chat real quick and see what these cats are saying, because this is the West Virginia Collins show. So Leo is asking, wasn't tricking at Jax? Yes, he was. Dime Drawer says On3 has us much higher. Yes, they do. And he says 24/7 sports. And we just went on a little tangent on that some of the folks are a little later to the party than others, but then again, when you're later to the party, it's a little more accurate. Coastal Carolina should be a win. Don't sleep on them. Tougher than you think. UT Martin win. Virginia probable loss. WFan 13, we're going to do a show on that probably after this chaos with the transfer portal is done. So bear with us, okay? Dime Drawer says you have about 5 days to add guys. We need edge. You know what? I think today's Thursday, Friday and Saturday is going to get hot and heavy because it's going to be kids just trying to find a spot to land. So I think you're going to snag a couple guys that are maybe got passed over by an Alabama or Mississippi State or an SEC school or maybe another Big 12 school. You might be able to snag a couple kids. That's why I'm surprised to see some of these visits come so late. Maybe they've visited other guys. And then also there's visits that have been canceled. And we'll talk about that later on, as we hit the 16-minute mark. So back to my magic list, guys. Next on my list, we talked about him. We're excited. The Everlong, Everlanky, the artist formerly known as wide receiver Prince Strachan. 2 years remaining eligibility from the Trojan of USC. So last year he was injured. First play got hurt. Eric, what are your thoughts on this monster?
This is excellent. This is a lot of potential. He's somewhat new to the game of football. I say somewhat new. It's just because at his stage, a lot of other guys have been playing since they were 5. That's not the case with him. He's 6'4", 230. Or no, I'm sorry, I got the wrong guy. He is 6'5", 215. And we talked about with that kind of reach, you're going to snag all kinds of passes. He is an outstanding receiver, did a lot of good things at Boise State, just had a really bad, hand dealt to him last year at USC.
Yeah, and this is the kind of situation that Jahiem White is in, and we'll talk about that real quick. As you know on the post, thumbnail, I basically, how I say this without throwing someone under the bus. Basically, in a conversation I had with someone, so this is all conjecture and rumor because it's I don't throw the source out there, but I hear there was a bidding war, and it wasn't much of a war because West Virginia offered Jahiem White some money. He didn't think it was enough. Neal Brown countered. It was more money, better offer, plus he's better chance of getting playing time. So he went down to North Texas. So Neal Brown, probably, I don't know, Eric, maybe you think he did a little bit of spite.
I don't know about that. I think it's more of a matter of, Jahiem was his player.
Yeah.
He recruited him, and they definitely had a great repertoire, great relationship. Probably the kind of thing that too, Jahiem goes there. He's going to be a game changer there. He's going to be the feature back. He's going to get a lot of carries as long as he stays healthy, which last year for him here was just a bad deal. That game against Ohio, just man, that's upsetting. So I wish him the best, and I can understand. We've got a lot of incoming running backs. Might have felt as though he was going to get more a better set of opportunities at North Texas.
Oh, here's the thing. Here's my thought. This is my opinion. This isn't fact. I think what happens at some point is they get these guys, and the guys coming in the door, you're spending money on them. You want them to be successful because they're your guys, right? Jahiem White, great running back, very physically able. Like, he's fast, he's sturdy. He did have that dirty hit on the Ohio game was just terrible luck. But he's also injury prone. So you're bringing in another guy. I think they offered him a decent amount of money, but once again, in today's day and age, and Eric, I'm going to put you on the spot. Maybe you can find it while I go through these players, but you had a stat for me that you messaged me with what these guys go for each position. And we'll wrap the show with that if that's okay. Because what's that?
Go ahead.
Maybe you can scrounge that up.
I don't think I can get that while we're on the show, buddy.
Okay. So Monday we'll do that. Monday we'll go through what these guys are getting, because that's interesting. That was just crazy. I think I actually have it on my phone here, but guys, some of these skill positions are not what I thought they would be. It's crazy. So let's get through this list before we run out of time. My goodness, this happened to us last week. Michael Hawkins, quarterback, Oklahoma. We talked about him last week. 3 years eligibility. And his brother, Malik, 6 foot, 161. What are your thoughts on these guys? We talked about them.
We praised these guys up and down last week. My opinion hasn't changed. Yeah. I think these guys will bring I think most of these players coming in for this transfer portal are going to make an immediate impact. The Hawkins brothers are no exceptions, highly regarded, not just on the football field, but also off. Reports of a lot of good character, good work ethic, that sort of thing.
Hawkins, isn't that the town in Stranger Things? I think so.
Right.
Anyway, we got Guamir Latimer. Now, he's related to another guy on the list here. Now, he's a cornerback from Wisconsin, 1 year eligibility. He had 422 snaps at cornerback, 22 tackles, 1 forced fumble. I don't know. He might be a just like another Beanie Bishop, I hope. Coming from that Big Ten, 1 year eligibility, wants to make a big splash in the Big 12. And man, if he could just have those kind of stats for the Mountaineers, I think they'll be in fine shape.
Well, let me ask you a question. What does Zach Alley like to do when he's playing, when he has his defense up? He likes to blitz.
He likes
what
to
do
blitz.
What do you normally do to your corners once you blitz? You leave them on an island.
Yeah, one-on-one, let him go out and do his thing.
So that's a lot of great TV time for a corner. Or like you're saying, you might even surprise some people and blitz a corner now and then. Foreshadowing for another player.
Yeah, that's great. And let that safety cover. DJ Epps from Troy. Okay, 1 year left. He's a wide receiver with 47 receptions, around 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. He had, listen to this, 23 kickoff returns for 554 yards. I'll tell you what, I'll take that. Running back Cam Cook, Jacksonville State, #1 rusher in the nation, 1 year eligibility, 1,659 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 30 receptions for 286 yards. If you don't get excited about this guy, And there's all kinds of different podcasts out there that have just stories on this guy, and he is literally. I don't think I want to bring up Tavon Austin and use his name in vain, or Noel Devine, but they're using those words with this kid, and I think that's a little too early. Let's see him play a game. Edge rusher David Afogho, Bowling Green, 2 years eligibility. This guy announced, what was it, yesterday or today?
I think he was yesterday. I'm not sure.
Yesterday. A linebacker, Malaki Hood, Illinois. Some of these names remind me of that Keenan Peele skit, and I have to just try my best to enunciate them. Not the football one where they're like East West Missouri State, but the guy where I'm the substitute teacher mispronouncing names. So
sometimes he goes by Maliki,
Maliki, Aaron, Denise, right? I think it's Denise. No, Denise. Kamari Wilson, safety from Memphis. He had 7 tackles for a loss and 2 interceptions and a sack. Now, this kid come from Florida Atlantic is named Tyler Stofsky. 90 tackles last year. And then we talked about Wes King already to start the show. I think that brings me up to everyone. Wait, Devin Vass. He played 400 snaps, and he I think he can play tackle too. But mostly he's a guard.
Yeah. He's had a strong season last year in the Big 12, scoring an 86. That's really solid. Played again in his game against BYU. I don't think he had any penalties, and I don't think he gave up any sacks against BYU. That's pretty impressive. And real quickly, Malaki Hood, he's 6'2", 183. So he's a little thin for a linebacker. I'm wondering if we're going to use him as a safety, maybe a bandit, and use him to bring pressure.
Yeah, I think that would. That's a big dude. I'm gonna go through.
I think he's gonna be fast.
I'm gonna go through some of the departures because. Go ahead, Eric.
Did you cover DJ Epps? I couldn't remember if you got the DJ Epps
maybe I forgot to talk about him. DJ Epps
out of Troy. Wide receiver, scored an 85.5, 6'1", 85. Nice. You can never have too many receivers. They're kind of like running backs. You got to get a bunch of them to make it through the season. And the one that I cannot shut up about this guy is Andrew Powdrell. Don't think we covered him yet, did we?
No, I don't have him on my list here. I might have missed him.
So I believe he just signed today. He's another UNLV grab. He plays corner. This is to me, this is our X factor. He's only five. Well, I shouldn't say he's 5'10", 180 is what he's listed at least according to what I could find. He looks bigger than that to me. Looks closer to like 190, 195 maybe. But the thing about him, you see his physical build and you're like, okay, but to watch him play, he's much faster than you would think. And he is ridiculously strong. He is crushing people when he is, because they use him a lot to blitz, and he is blowing by the blockers and he's fighting through blocks. There's also he's got great closing speed. There's one play you'll see in his footage out there. Normally, if you're a corner and you turn the wrong way, once you got a receiver streaking past you, he turned the wrong way, and actually, because once you turn the wrong way, you've got a longer pursuit, and your angle pursuing, you got to make up a lot more space. He caught the guy and that guy was blowing past him. So I really love his addition. I think he could be Zach Alley's wild card, just bringing him in from everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of these guys just blow. It's almost like going to Sam's Club and you just get all kinds of great things. You don't know how, like, oh, wow, this is great. That's great. just gets, maybe that's just an old guy thing, but you get excited about the smallest things. And I'm just excited when I watch tape. I'm like, oh, that's really good. That's really good. And that makes it really tough for coaches. I know it's tough for me to kind of go through here and say, okay, we got a smorgasbord. What are we gonna, who are we gonna use? How are we gonna utilize them? And Rich Rod is creative, and Zach Alley's creative, and we're just gonna, I'm just excited. This is gonna be a really good year. Now, chat, you said we're not gonna go 10-2. I realize that. But I'll tell you what, we're definitely not gonna go 4, and we're not gonna have 4 wins. Now, we talked about this earlier. I'm going to talk about it one more time. This is what I heard, and it jives with what you're saying. With Lattimore and Cook coming in from the portal, White didn't get the money he wanted, and I don't think he got the love. And I think Neal Brown called up and said, "Hey, you want to play some ball down in North Texas?" Makes too much sense to be not true. The simplest answer is usually the most likely, right? Okay. Next on the list. Okay. I'm going to talk about guys that are no longer with the program. Mike Hasty was supposed to be here. He had 4 years left. He was a linebacker. Total, I think I have like 43, 44, 40, something like that. Curtis Jones surprised me yesterday. What's interesting about him, chat, is he got to play a little bit of running back when we were down to like nobody on the depth chart. Very serviceable, sturdy third down back. Good linebacker. Hate to see him go. A lot of these other guys on the list, might not have got a lot of time. Linebacker Ben Boggle, offensive lineman Wyatt Minor, Cam Vaughn, along with White, both should throw a little bit of shade at the Mountaineers when they left, and I think it's because, I think just people get hurt feelings when they don't get what they think they should get. And Monday we're going to talk about, well, what the hell kind of money are these guys thinking they're getting? Some quarterbacks are getting $4 million, $3 million. Some offensive linemen are getting $1 million. Beginning of this year, I remember on this show saying, offensive linemen are getting $250. And that was from a good source. Now, Shane, you were wrong. They're getting either it's change or they're getting a hell of a lot more. But another offensive lineman went to Marshall, Xavier Bosley. I'm just gonna hit a few of these guys because there's 40 of them. Quarterback Khalil Wilkins. He's in the portal, but he hasn't transferred. Heyman Russell is going to Wisconsin. Let's see anybody else I have on here. Those are the guys that I have just that are going that I thought we'd talk about. Rodney Gallagher, another guy. Don't know where he's going. He might end up at Marshall. Nico Markiel. Do you think he has 2 years left? What team do you think is going to snatch him up, Eric? Just throw some guesses out there because I have no idea.
I don't either. Arizona.
Yeah, I think like Arizona State, maybe Fresno State. I don't know. Someone's got to pick him up. He's a good quarterback.
Nico really is. Sorry, again.
No, Orrin Singleton's another guy that was a receiver. So I think he played a couple games. Sincere Bowers is leaving the program. He has 1 year left. But Rodney Gallagher never really got utilized at all. Like he tried him here, tried him there. But I don't know. Did he underperform? Is the best way I can say it without sounding like a jerk.
I don't know that he did, especially this year. It's hard to tell because we had so much trouble with pass blocking. We just couldn't utilize people. And quite honestly, when he would grade out, he would grade out pretty decent. I think this year was just bad. I mean, if you look at the numbers on any of our receivers, none of them are going to look great. Um, to be quite honest, I don't know that we've seen the best of him yet, but I can't blame that on him.
No, I see that too, and I root for the kid. And I'm not going to be like, once a Mountaineer, always a Mountaineer. No, just best wishes and pepperoni roll kisses, buddy. There's the door. Good luck.
I wish him. I wish. I actually.
Wish
I
him well.
really liked him.
Yeah,
I did a great job with so many things on and off the field. But yeah, wish him well.
yeah. I hope he does. I hope he does okay. Let's go back to talking about this kid from Round Rock, Texas. 1,600 yards. They call him Cam the Chef Cook. The chef. Remember Chef from South Park? Hey, kids. He was only a 3-star prospect, but he literally averaged like 130 yards a game last season. Now, Jacksonville State doesn't play a lot of like, I don't know, big name teams, but still it's big time ball. It's still, that's a lot of yards. I mean, do you think, Eric, it's possible that he gets 1,000 yards as a dressing up in the blue and the old gold?
I think it's going to be hard for any single back to get 1,000 yards now, because any more backs just take such a beating, and you almost have to have a running back by committee. But do I think he can, be one of our feature backs and get close to like maybe 800 yards? Yeah.
Mm.
And in particular, the thing that's really great about him, he's got two things that are going to be really, well, he's got three things that are going to be really good for integrating him into the offense. A, he's familiar with the system. I mean, let's face it, he's coming here knowing virtually knowing the playbook. It won't take him long to get up to speed. Speaking of speed, he's going to be great when Steve Slayton, to jump in the Wayback Machine, first started playing running back. Rich was kind of critical of him. He would criticize, because it would seem like Rich, that Steve wasn't open, couldn't find, there were no holes, and Rich was fast to criticize and say he's got to learn to read the seams better. And I remember thinking that's really harsh, but it turned out it was true.
Yeah.
And you've got to be able to read that seam and hit it really quick, because it closes very quickly. Cam's going to be able to do that. He's familiar with the system, so he knows how to read the seams, and he's going to get through there quick. Now, he may not get that 60-yard touchdown. He may get a lot of 20-yard gains, which, yeah, we'll take all those we can get. And really, those are all three things I mentioned.
No, and I had said he's a 3-star. He's a 3-star in the transfer portal matrix. 247, or I have written down here. But in high school, he was a 4-star, according to I think Rivals. So bear with me. I'm trying to be more factual this week, because last week I got my brothers mixed up. I forgot that Guillermo, is that how you say his name? Latimer was the brother of So
Amari and Gamir.
Yeah, Kamari and Gamir. Yeah. So I'm gonna hit this chat for WVU Fan 13. One thing this past season taught me is you can't rely on the PFF scores or star ratings. Cam Vaughn, Jamori, and Jalen Henderson were all talked about highly, and all misses. I don't think Cam Vaughn was a huge miss. I think he was overhyped. I think the quarterback play kind of made it a little more difficult for him to kind of shine. But Jamori was a big pile of dog doo-doo, and Jalen Henderson wasn't all that great, although on tape he looked good. And I know Mountaineer Paul had a man crush on him, and I like Mountaineer Paul a lot, and he watches a lot of video, and he shows a lot of video footage on his show. So when I was watching that, I'm like, I'm drinking what Mountaineer Paul is what does he say? Crack-a-doo. I was cracking a do with him, so shout out to Jalen Henderson. And I was hoping and praying that he was going to be all that in a bag of chips, and he wasn't. So yeah.
Hey, real quickly,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No,
real quickly too. One of the things about the PFF scores, You're right, WVU fan. It seemed like when you hear about somebody having a good score, you're looking, at me as a fan. I look to see, oh, how many yards, receiving did they get? How many touchdowns? That sort of thing. A lot of those PFF scores are evaluating things that are subtle, that aren't yards received, number of touchdowns. They're going to be grading on things that downfield blocking, route running, not giving up on, routes, things like that. Now, still, I got to agree with you. Like, Cam's last game, it looks more and more like he'd already checked out. But Gallagher, you look back at the games and it's a shame because he didn't get to see him get those receptions. And like you're right, Shane, the quarterback play, and I'm not knocking our quarterbacks. We couldn't protect the quarterbacks. We all saw that last year. There was so much evidence for it. So it's hard, and that's why they come up with those PFS scores, because sometimes something that isn't as obvious, once you start evaluating other aspects of performance, it becomes a little more clear.
Well said. That's exactly right. Because when I saw Cam Vaughn after the interception was thrown, was it last game, second to last game? Anyways, doesn't matter. Just kind of like keep trotting into the end zone like he's Forrest Gump running into the freaking exit ramp. I thought to myself, if I am a coach and this kid wants to play ball for me, there's no way in hell I'm paying him in the NIL portal. I might not even let him on my damn team. Because you had sent this to me yesterday and you were spot on. We had to estimate, 38 to 4,500. What you sent me is 4,500 kids in the portal. Can we agree that there's more than 4,000 kids in the portal, right? Safely.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. Cam Vaughn's in there with these other, kids. He might not find a school.
I
think he will. But, I mean, if you had two guys, similar capabilities, and you see that tape of him just not even putting forth the effort after the interception, you have to be desperate. So I'd love to interview the coach that picks him up and ask him, hey, why are you giving this kid a chance?
I'm hearing he's visiting Florida. We'll see. I do think there's a lot of talent there. And I'll just leave it at that. We'll see about discipline and other things, and certainly it's the kind of thing that you can work with somebody on that. And getting back to the portal thing, there are so many players in the portal. That's the one dark side of the portal they don't talk about. A lot of these players go in, they don't come back out.
No, they don't get that lottery. It's like a lottery ticket for these kids. And sometimes I feel really bad, but it is what it is. I mean, they wanted to be paid. They're getting paid. And now some of them are getting hung out to dry. But you know who's still getting paid? The agents. The agents are making out like fat cats. Hey, before we do this WV Fan 13 question, I'm going to ask you. Let me go up here. Is Scotty Fox? Oh, look at that thumbnail. Winning, right? Is Scotty Fox going to stay or leaving? Do you think we'll go undefeated this season? No, we're not going to go undefeated. And last show, we talked about Scotty Fox. It was all about Scotty Fox. Had a lot of views. That was a great video. So check it out. It's out there. There's two videos of the same show. One is just comes out as the live or the live show. And then they kind of Voice College Football just rebrands it and sends it out again maybe a day later. But that's a good video, Scotty Fox. Scotty Fox, answer your question, Scrooge McDuck. I think he's going to stay. Eric, what are your thoughts? You think he's going to stay?
You never know because you never know what offers people are getting. And we talked about him that if he went to a smaller school, he would be their offense. He would be a game changer. They would treat him really well. It's kind of like the same thing with Jahiem going on. That being said,
yeah.
What's that?
I think that's beneficial to leave and then come back, or leave and then go to a smaller school.
Well, for some players, it's a way to elevate your status because you've got to get game tape of you, doing your thing, so bigger schools can see you and they can evaluate you. And of course, you get your scores. and then of course you move up. I mean, that's part of the game now. But I think Scotty Fox would be hurting himself if he left. I think it is far from over as to who's going to be the starting quarterback. I think Scotty, to me, right now, is the starting quarterback. He's going to have to lose that job. He did a great job with the offense, learning the offense. He had some trouble. I think it was Pitt. He threw 2 interceptions.
Yeah,
Um,
just bad throw. Yeah, down
yeah,
in our
but I
end zone.
think, but he learned the offense much better because normally that happens. Rich will put you in witness protection. You won't see that person again. Didn't happen with Scotty. The other thing is that Scotty got the offense to perform, certainly not the peak, efficiency, but he got it to perform with a troublesome offensive line.
Yeah, they were still trying to find themselves, and it is what it is. But I think Scotty. Here's the thing: there's a shelf life for backup quarterbacks. Like, if you're sitting on the bench, there's not a very good chance. There's not a good chance that you're going to be there the next year. It's not like you're going to ride the pine and wait. I just don't think I don't see that because they just go recruit guys that might have a little more upside. Now in this chat here, are you talking about Martavius Boswell from Lincoln Community College, the running back? Let me see here. Put it up. Is he from that community college? I saw a little bit about him, but I'd have to. I don't know much about other than the name. He's a running back, Allen. So hit us up, Allen, because I know he's running back. Are you related to Martavius? Because you got the same last name, my friend.
It'd be great to get insider story.
If you are, this is the Collins show. I can send you an invite. You can hop on here and we'll talk about him. Okay? I know, like, I'm trying to think.
The name is very familiar, but I can't.
Yeah.
Because we talk about it, it is just personnel soup in my brain right now because we're constantly. Well, by the way, we went over 17 players tonight, and then you threw in at least that many.
He was a West Virginia commit, but he didn't sign. Make us smart. If you know something, let us know.
Please.
This show is about us figuring shit out together and trying to make heads and tails of what's on one website, what's being reported by certain journalists, and trying to figure out what's going on. Because we're fans, not journalists. But yeah, Alan, hit us up, brother, in the chat. So Grant Dotson says, I think we did what I expected, especially when you're starting from scratch. As strong as we started out, I think we got a little full of ourselves, right?
And you're talking about starting off strong with the recruiting, right? From high school.
Recruiting, what, 6 weeks ago? Like, we were just gangbusters. And my expectations were here. Reality was way out here. Okay. Not that I had penthouse dreams and outhouse budget or the other way around. It's more of like, okay, whoa, we really are hitting above our weight, So with that, my expectations were we were going to hit the ground running, just guns a-blazing. First day, sign a bunch of kids because it's like a sailor on payday. Boom, boom, boom. You're getting paid. You're good. But some of these kids, I think, were just kind of standing back, waiting for the offers to come in. Eric, was that what you said last show, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we're kind of hoping, and we don't have the experience to kind of go off. This is what happened in the past 5 years. Every year is like a maturation of what the process is. So we're figuring it out as you're figuring out, and so are the coaches. So I'm predicting, Eric, I want to know what your thoughts are. Friday, Saturday are going to be balls to the wall. These guys are going to be on the phone with agents trying to get shit done. What are your thoughts?
I think we have. I think we go to the 15th, maybe the 16th. I'm not sure. I forget now. It's one of those 2 days. But we got time, And being that you've got time, you're going to have like a peak period. I don't think it's going to go down to the wire for everybody because you're right. There comes a point at which if you once you get a solid offer from the school that you want, where you think you're going to be the right fit, because even though everybody keeps saying it's all about the money,
Right.
it's largely about the money, but it's also about what players can do with their stock value by going to a program. If you're going to go to a program and they're going to pay a ton of money and it's not going to be a good fit for you and you don't get to do much there, unless you're done with your eligibility, in which case, why would you want to do that? You're going to drop your draft stock. You've got to worry about the following season and your value then. So I think you're probably going to see the weekend, like you said, the weekend's probably going to be a great peak of activity. And then, excuse me, after that, I think you're going to look at kind of wild card stuff. You'll see people getting picked up that, no one seemed to pick up. No one seemed to be, where did this kid come? Where did this player
Out
come
of the
from?
blue, like he wasn't on our radar. He just kind of fell in our lap. I think it's kind of like that. Like I'm going to use an analogy. Everybody went to high school. Everybody had a prom. If you wait until the week before the prom, girls are going to have back braces and freaking fish hooks out of their mouth. Okay. They're going to look like swamp donkeys, right? Okay. Don't want that. You want to ask a little early. You don't want there's like a happy medium. You don't want to ask 3 months before the prom. There's a happy medium. And I think, like 40 hours before the close is like when people are starting to scramble. The guys are like telling their agents, okay, what do you suggest? Okay, this sounds good. I'll go. Boise State's not going to offer me. I'll go to UNLV. Or West Virginia's not going to offer me. I'll go to Temple. Like that makes sense to me. So let's go to chats here before we close out the show. We should have more slots open, need more O-line studs. WVU fan, I think Rick Trickett is like the fairy godmother, and he's going to turn those mice into freaking horses. Poof. They're a little Disney magic for you, a la Rick Trickett. But he's not wearing that dress, and he's not having any glitter. It's more like a wiffle ball bat. Boom. All right. What were your expectations for last season, Rich Rod coming back as head coach? Because mine were super high. I thought we were going undefeated Big 12. Scrooge McDuck, penthouse dreams, outhouse. Realistically, that was not going to happen. I don't think I've ever said that, but if you thought that was going to happen, no. I even look back when Rich got here. What 2001? Was it 2000 or 2000, 2001? Okay, like 25 odd years ago. It was until probably 2004 that he turned the corner, and they were good. 2003, they beat Vatech. We're like, oh, something's happening. He's cooking something. 2004 looked okay. 2005, they were shit hot. So I don't think it's going to take 5 years, Eric, but I think it's going to take a couple.
Yeah, I mean, I think last year we predicted, we were pretty optimistic. Everybody's pretty jazzed because we remembered 2005 through 2007, Rich Rod. And I think we picked 7 and 6, or I don't remember. But yeah. But next year, I think we can have high hopes. Yeah, Rich's first year, he was 3 and 8. I think it was 3 and 8. And the following year, he was like 8 and 3.
So, Eric, when does this portal close? Next week sometime, right?
It's either the 15th or the 16th, buddy.
Yeah, so next Thursday, we'll probably have a wrap-up show and have about everything kind of fished in on what's going on. Monday, we're going to talk about a few new names, add to our list, and then talk about how much these kids are getting. Also, I'm going to fish around, try to find out what other quarterbacks are making in the Big 12 for apples to apples, oranges to oranges, whatever. Now, Eric, any closing remarks before we hit our outro?
This is an exciting time. Everybody's talking about players. Everybody's talking the same thing. And it's really interesting to kind of compare notes, that sort of thing. But understand we're not done. And I think in between now and the 15th, there's going to be a lot of wow factor, and there could also be a lot of didn't see that coming kind of things.
Yep. So as we close the show, we usually talk a little bit about West Virginia basketball. West Virginia had a nice Big 12 opening win against Cincinnati. Got a little bit itchy. I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna lose this. But a couple big threes late in the game. They came out smelling like a rose. Eric, you told me this could make or break the season. Give me your thoughts. What were your thoughts there?
Oh, I thought it was a must-win game for us, and I hate saying that so early in the season. Early July, early January, we're saying it's a must-win game. We're saying that because if you want to get into the tourney, you got to have some a couple of big non-conference wins. We
Right.
didn't get any.
No. Pitt sit, and being competitive going to overtime does not quite cut it. I agree. I think the fact that we thought they were just gonna, be top 3 in the Big 12 was just, a little bit. I don't know. Our expectations weren't really realistic. I think they're missing a few key pieces. Maybe a really really tight point guard. They had Huff kind of play point a little bit. I think that was a mistake. I think they lost some games because of that. Didn't get as much production out of him a couple times as they probably should have because he was handling the ball. But got to remember, guys, West Virginia Collins Show every Thursday at 8 o'clock is brought to you by and presented by FanDuel. So FanDuel, it's a great site. Go on there. You can do parlay. You can do, you can kind of go in there and see, okay, I put $10 down on the Mountaineers to win the national championship. They're going to pay me $3,000. I don't think those are great odds, but it's a fun bet. Guys, thanks for being here. We'll close out with these chats here. Texas Tech kid signed for 5. Levitt got 3.1 million. Avery Johnson got 1.6. Afton Afton on the Steelers show is our go-to. I'll ask Bubba something and he'll be like, I don't know. And then Afton will just pop it right out. And Afton is coming. She's from the Midwest. And she's Kansas, and she's coming out to Pittsburgh for the Steelers playoff game. So that'll be good for her. So safe travels, Afton, if we don't talk. The team goes as Connor Huff goes. Type of slow offense. Yeah, that's pretty much the pulse is set around his scoring. She's packing right now. Well, in the next show, I'll DM you, and if you guys need anything when you're out here, hit me up. Or maybe we can meet up for coffee, my family and yours. Okay. Now, Eric, if you don't have anything else, we're going to wrap this rascal up.
I got nothing else.
Well, Mountaineer fans, it's been a great Thursday. It's going to be even a better Friday. I hope you have a good one. As a Mountaineer fan, it's a good time to be optimistic about the future. We're not going to be 4-7 next year. We're not going to be 3. I'm joking. Basketball season's picking up. They play Kansas, number 22 Kansas on Saturday. Chat a little bit about that on Monday. Guys, I'm going to end this show with the great state of Mountaineer Nation's flag, West by God, Virginia. So as you see that flag, remember, best wishes, pepperoni kisses. That's gross. My wife's like, what is that? I don't know. You never gave me a pepperoni kiss. Bye. Take care, all.